Billions for the bankers, debts for the people. And if you need an illustration of that, look at the bailout.
Yeah.
And what the Federal Reserve is, it's like somebody giving you an IOU for value. With full faith, this is good for all debts, public and private. Why did I have to say that? Because it's paper. It's a note. An IOU note. You give this note, you get value back because they say so to the people. This is the exchange. Because the government has given over the control of the money and the assets of the United States. They take the gold, the land, they run it, they rule it,
Right.
and they give you that.
People need to understand how we got there, how we got to that.
Well, it was in 1913, and at Warburg's, and it was one of the greatest shams. And Woodrow Wilson said, "I have destroyed my country."
It's unconstitutional at the highest level of our government.
It's actually high treason.
It is high treason.
And believe me, you who are in Congress are in high treason of the Constitution.
And some
The
of them
Supreme
might not
Court.
even know. They might not even know what they're.
Oh, if they get in there, they realize that this is
That's
a
why you
very
get 'em
bad situation. See, because when they get there, they don't work for us anymore. Remember the 3-city flag, the 3-star flag, the 3 city states. Once they're in Washington, D.C., Pete Stark got defeated. I voted against him, and he lost. Pete Stark lost. Everybody goes, ooh.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
he was.
But Dianne Feinstein won. She's
Yes.
worse than any of them. You know?
Well, and it's not that Pete Stark lost. This gentleman who was elected is not going to change anything. Money is very cheap to make. This is by Sheldon Emery. And whoever does the creating of money in a nation can make a tremendous profit. Builders work hard to make a profit of 5% above their cost to build a house. Automakers sell their cars for 1 to 2% above the cost to manufacture it, and is considered good business. But money manufacturers no limit on their profits, since a few cents will print a $1 or a $10,000 bill. I mean, and that's very simple. You take the materials it takes to make the bill, or let's just say a contract, like your mortgage. Let's do that. Here it is. All of a sudden you want a house. You're qualified. You're greatly qualified. And they say, oh great, you're qualified to get in debt. So we'll be glad to put you in debt. Come right in.
You're qualified to be my slave.
Exactly. It is slavery. And then what happens is they create money from nothing because there's no bills, no value, no gold,
How
no
can they
nothing.
do that? How can they create money from nothing?
Because they're the Federal Reserve. What they do are they credit your account with this number. They say this has 100,000 in
So
it.
we gave them that power.
Yes. Well,
Why didn't we just do that ourselves and save ourselves a lot of time and trouble?
because the bankers control it. The bankers are the ones who have debt. Now here's how it works out. They have assets, and they say we will lend you based on our assets. We'll give you this, but they don't have enough assets to back all their lending. They just tell you we're in control. We've got it. You've got this, and the value that they have is your house. So when you don't pay, they take it back and make another profit. They just keep making money. It's you that lose.
Wow.
But that's the reality. They create money of nothing. In other words, they keep the illusion of value, and then they take real assets to back it, which is your home, your car, or whatever you own, and it's theirs. And believe me, they own America by this very thing, because most of America's in debt up to their, well, up to the high heavens, really, not up to their eyeballs or head, to the high heavens. That means they're owned, and that they're a slave to the Federal Reserve. Americans living in what is called the richest nation on earth seem always to be short of money. Wives are working in unprecedented numbers. Husbands hope for overtime hours to earn more or take part-time job evenings and weekends. Children look for odd jobs for spending money. The family climbs into debt and gets higher and higher. And psychologists say one of the biggest causes of family quarrels and breakups is arguments over money. Mom, Dad, right? Much of this trouble can be traced to our present debt money system. Pastor Sheldon Emery, in the book Billions for the Bankers, Debts for the People. This is the truth.
This is breaking up families.
Well, no,
the
it's
Federal
destroying.
Reserve is destroying.
Yes, and that's part of the deal too, is they break down the family to introduce alternate lifestyles that will destroy the fabric of a nation and make it more malleable to, well, if you do that, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you can do that. And you'll have to pay for it.
Nobody has a problem with it, right?
And as long as they pay their taxes and pay their money, they're fine. And this is the world we're going into. And pretty soon, if you believe the law of the King of Kings and of the Word, you're going to be in what? Opposition to the way, the best way, the more governmental right way. And then they will either imprison, torture you, or kill you, or drive you out. So this is what is ahead. Yaakov's trouble. Many of the Nazarene and those who follow the truth, not me, the truth. I try to stick to the truth, and when I'm wrong, I get corrected by brothers, but I'll also correct them. For example, those who preach against Paul or Shaul of Tarsus, who say he wasn't of the King of Kings. They're liars. And I state that unequivocally, not with hatred, but with deep concern for you, because you are not following the Word. That is your guide. When you turn from that, you do so at your own peril. Doesn't mean you're not saved or unredeemed, but it does mean you are devoid of truth in that area when the Word speaks most most certainly, especially when Peter and the apostles attest, and you say, oh no, that's not true. You make yourself a liar. So that's just one point that I'll make. But getting back to Mr. Sheldon Emery, he's written this book because why? How come so many people are writing books about the Federal Reserve making us slaves? And why is it that there are so many out there who are slaves that just go, oh, that's nutty, and that's crazy, that's what? Conspiracy talk. Unfortunately, they've made conspiracy talk to mean you're a nut. But you got to understand, that works to the best conspirators' best end. Because then they can do conspiracies like the Twin Towers that went down did not go down by Al-Qaeda, because Al-Qaeda didn't have the power to do that. They didn't have the money, the resources, or the ability. But they made it appear to be that these people did this. Now I say that, and it's not because I know all the details, but I do know that for a fact, if the United States does not want you doing something, you may get in once and twice and get away with something. But generally it's due to tie-ins with certain hidden departments within the government, because not all of our government is against us. There are sub-departments, hidden things that nobody knows about, not even the president, not even Congress, but they get their money and nobody opposes them. We won't go into what, we're not into shining light into that, but we know it's true, and it's true of every government. Look at the governments in the past and you'll see what is here now and in the future. And we're not out to out and get you guys, but we're here to shine the light on the truth that you're there, and we know whom you serve. But the creation of this world was made for the glory of Yah of old, and you will not defeat him, though you do all these things. Now we're here to tell the truth about things and to bring up the fact that you're going to be defeated. You know it, we know it, and we'll have to suffer until you are put in your place. So until that time, enjoy your power, because it soon will evaporate.